Hi, Phyllis here. This morning I'm going to show you how to fry bacon in the oven. Now the bacon we're going to use is Carolina Pride. It's 12 ounces, and you see that it says fries crisp without burning, and that is very, very true. This is just original smoked bacon. Again, it's Carolina Pride. Now this bacon I bought on sale, but I did not have a coupon. Now I'm going to show you my little price list book. Here it is. Last December in 2011 at Bilo Supermarket I bought Carolina Pride bacon. It was on sale for $2.50. I had 50-cent coupons, and the coupons doubled, so that meant the pack of bacon was $1.50, and I bought 4 packs. Now, in March the 7th, I bought Carolina bacon again. It was on sale, but I had no coupons, but it was on sale from the sales flyer. So obviously when I bought it for $1.50, that was a super deal. But it was still a good deal buying it for $2.49. And again, I bought it at Bilo. Now this bacon is available in the Southeast, and it's available in these different stores: Piggly Wiggly, Bilo, Walmart in the South, Kroger, Publix, Food Line, and I think it's available in Super Value. So the states would be North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, and there are probably others that I don't know about, but generally in the Southeast. Again, it's Carolina Pride bacon. Now I'm going to show you how to fix this. Now, I'm not a spokesman for Carolina Pride. However, I am a consumer, and I really like good bacon, and I do want it to fry up crispy. So therefore, I'm going to fix it in the oven, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is the original. Now, we don't buy the brown sugar type and all those other different types. We just get the original because I, in fact, do want it to fry up crispy, because today we're going to have BLT sandwiches with some of our tomatoes from the garden. So now I'm going to show you how. First, I'm just going to open up the pack. Now, it would be better if you took this out, maybe 10 minutes before you cook it. Now, again, using my scissors, and I'm just going to cut this pack open so I can easily get it out. Okay. Now, I'm going to cook it on the pan. You can see my pan is pretty well warm. And what I'm going to do is grease the pan first with some leftover bacon grease from where I've cooked it in the past. So I'm just going to take some of my fingers, just a little bit, and just grease this pan really good. Now this is 12 ounces, so most of this will fit on this little pan here. And you want to cook it at about 400 degrees, and you want to put it on the middle rack in the oven. Now see, I've taken it out of the refrigerator, and I'm just going to kind of dry it off a little bit. And then I'm going to fit these onto the pan like this. I'm going to squish them up a little bit, because after all, when it cooks, it's going to squish up anyway. So you might as well just go on and help it along to squish up. I'm going to put all this on here. Again, we're going to cook it at 400 degrees. On bake in your oven, and it will take about 20 minutes, maybe a little longer. And I cook it all at one time, and then it's certainly easy enough to put it in a little plastic container in the refrigerator. And so from 12 ounces of bacon, we will more than likely have 3 meals. But the other thing that I do is make my own egg and bacon biscuits. Now, we have Hardee's here in the South, and they have super, super good biscuits. And a lot of times they have them on sale, 2 for $3. But based on my prices and being able to get the bacon on sale and that type of thing, I can make egg biscuits for about 47 cents each. Now, Carolina Pride also has sausage, and it is excellent. Now, we just get the mild sausage. We don't get the hot sausage. And what you'll need to do is wait till it's on sale, and preferably a place that doubles coupons. So if you have a coupon, like a 50-cent coupon is usually what Carolina Pride gives out in the Sunday newspaper. And if you do it like that, and maybe get your eggs on sale with a coupon also, you could make this for less than 47 cents for a bacon and egg biscuit. And see, that little piece of bacon is very thin. So I'm just going to fold that over double and just fit it in. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven again at 400 degrees. Now, when you're taking it out of the oven, you want to be real careful because it will be hot grease. So when I take it out, I'm going to videotape that too so that you can see it, and I'm going to drain the grease that comes off of it right back into this little bowl, and I keep this little bowl in the refrigerator covered with saran wrap. Okay, and you just want to try to make sure you don't let the juice from that drip on anything. I'm going to use a paper towel to cut my camera off. Here it is. We're going to put it in the oven, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and we'll be right back. My bacon is done now, so I'm going to show you how to pour the grease off of it. Same little bowl I had earlier. I'm just going to tilt it up and pour as much of the grease off as I can get off of it. Now be careful here because you don't want to spill this grease. Okay, now I've drained as much as I can get off of it. And now if any of the pieces have stuck together, you can just take 2 forks and just slightly pull them apart. Okay. Now I'm going to take this up off the pan, and that can be a little difficult, so you need a straight-edged spatula. Now, didn't that cook up nice? Hold it up so you can see it's hot. So I'm going to put it on a plate with some paper towels. The pan's very hot. There's more. Now my husband likes his bacon really crispy, and if they break, it's okay. And I like mine not so crispy. See, that's not as crispy, so I get the bacon that's not as crispy usually. See, that's much prettier than if you fried it in a pan. It comes out really nice. There's that little half piece I put together because it was thinner than the rest of it. Alright, there's my pan of bacon. And now I'm going to fix the biscuits. I'm going to cut this off until I get my ingredients ready. Again, that was 12 ounces of Carolina Pride bacon, cooked in the oven at about 400 degrees on a little flat pan. And just be real careful with the grease. Now, it didn't make much grease. This bowl is full of grease from 3 different times of fixing bacon. So I'm going to get ready now for the biscuits. Okay, we're back and ready to make the biscuits. The ingredients will be about 4 cups of self-rising white lily flour, and we're going to sift this. You'll need Crisco, and you'll also need the Crisco to grease the pan, and about 2 cups of whole buttermilk. You want to make sure it's cultured whole buttermilk. Okay, we're ready to get started. We'll also need a biscuit cutter. Now you can use a glass. Just, notice the size that you want the biscuits. These I think we got at Mass General Store up in the mountains a few years ago. And you'll need some wax paper just to put the biscuits down so that you can cut them. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is sift our flour. Now, this sifter says it will hold about 4 cups. Now, none of the measurements are going to be exact, but I will show you what to look for. So we're going to dump our flour in. Again, this is White Lily self-rising flour. It's already got the baking powder and the salt in it. There you go. Self-rising White Lily. And that's made with 100% soft winter wheat, which makes the absolute best biscuits. Now, on the flour that you're using that's got baking powder in it, and this is not going to be the agent for causing it to rise is the baking powder and the baking soda. So we don't want to work this very much because we want a light, airy biscuit. Now I know some people like Gummy Biscuits. I know my husband does. When we go to Cracker Barrel, he loves those biscuits because they're kind of gummy on the inside. But I prefer light biscuits, so I'll show you how to make them gummy and how to make them light. All right, we're going to take some Crisco and we're going to grease this pan. Just generously grease it. And I'm doing it in this order because you see it makes your hands kind of messy. So I'm going to go ahead and grease this pan. Got it greased all over. Now I'm going to take what was left, just dump it in there, and get just a little bit more, about that much, and I'm going to start working it in, just like I was going to make a pie crust. And I'm just working it in with my fingers. Now obviously you want your hands to be really, really clean when you're doing this. Now when you work the flour, after it has liquid added, you're going to be developing the gluten. So when you're making a yeast bread, you want to work it, work it, work it. But when you're making a baking powder rising type bread, which is what biscuits are, you want to work it as little as possible after the liquid is in. All right, let's see how I've got that worked in. All right, now I'm going to add the buttermilk. Now I don't know how much buttermilk this is going to take because the flour is usually different each time. But I poured out 2 cups and I've sort of let it sit and get, maybe room temperature. So now I'm just going to pour it in. And at this point I'm going to work this just as fast as I can. Working it into the dough. And the flour to make the dough, excuse me. Alright, see how I'm mixing it in? Now it'll start bubbling, rising almost immediately. So pour a little more in. Now, all right, now see how fast I did that? Now I'm going to clean my hands off like that. Then I'm going to go wash them real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Now I want to sprinkle a little more flour on there. See, it's kind of shiny because what I'm going to try to do then is get it out of the pan without mashing it around too much if I can help it. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. Now remember, we're doing this just as quick as we possibly can. Now that looks like I used about 1 3/4 cup whole buttermilk because I've got about 1/4 cup left. And so that would have been about maybe 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. And here's where your wax paper comes in. Cut out the wax paper. And I'm going to sprinkle the wax paper with a little bit of flour. that I'm going to turn out the biscuit dough on there, and you'll notice that I'm working the flour just as little as possible. Okay, now I'm going to sprinkle a little more flour on the top of that. Not much, just a little bit. Now after these have cooked, and when they're almost done, we're going to put some butter on the top of them, so any little flour that's still white looking on the top of them, all you have to do is just put the butter over it and it will go away, really. Alright, now my hand's kind of messy again, so I'm just going to wipe my hand off a little bit. And I'm going to start cutting these biscuits. Now here's a biscuit cutter. And I'm just going to start like that, and I'm going to gently pick them up. Put them on the biscuit pan. You can see that biscuit pan. Okay. Again, just do the flour around. Again, the whole idea, you can do them like that to get a little of that flour off, is to not mash down the dough. That's what's going to make a light biscuit. Alright, we're just going to keep cutting these out. Now that's 6 biscuits so far. And by the way, really good biscuits are usually ugly, okay? They usually are. But they're, you know, it's the way it looks is important, but not as important as the way they taste. Alright, we got one more here now. Now, remember I told you that my husband likes gummy biscuits? So if you want gummy biscuits, this is the way to do it. See all that flour there that was left over from where I cut out the biscuits? Just put a little more flour on. Kind of roll it around a little bit and flatten it out again. Now, this action is what's going to make what I call a gummy biscuit. And this is what you want to avoid if you want them light and airy. And what you can do with what's left over is simply put them on the baking sheet and just cook them anyway, and then later on maybe use them for stuffing or breadcrumbs. Alright, see the gummy biscuit looks prettier, but in my opinion it doesn't taste better. Okay, on this last one, see how I'm mixing it up again? It's going to make it even gummier. And this is the kind of biscuit that Cracker Barrel serves, Cracker Barrel restaurant. And when they're making the biscuit, they're working it a lot, and they probably got the help in the kitchen that doesn't know how to make a light and airy biscuit, so they just keep working the flour. Now we just have a few little squigglies, we call them, left over. And I'm just going to roll those up because we don't want to waste anything. And that one will be the gummiest yet. Put that in there. Okay. Here's what my biscuits look like. Now we're going to bake them at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then we're going to take them out and put some butter on the top of them to make the top crust a little softer, and also to make that extra flour that's on top of them to just go away. Alright, so we've got 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. We've got 15 biscuits there. Okay, I'm going to bake them now and get this cleaned up. And by the way, using the wax paper makes it not quite so messy. So we'll be back when the biscuits are done. Alright, my biscuits are really done, and now I want to show you what to do. You want to take them out of the oven when they're just barely turning brown, and I'm going to put a very thin slice of butter on the top of each one. Now they're very hot, so this butter will melt right away. See the little flour on top? That'll go away when you put the butter on them. This is going to give the top of the biscuit a little softer texture. Very thin little slice of butter on each one. And then I'm just going to kind of spread it out with my fingers. You'll need to be careful because they're very hot. Now, after I finish doing this, we're going to put it back in the oven for about 5 minutes and let them finish browning. Alright, just spread that butter out with your fingers. Now if you do much cooking, you know your fingers get kind of used to the heat. So if you need a little more butter, do that. Just spread it out as much as you can. Now I would use a little brush for this, but I have a problem with the brush because then I put it in the dishwasher and I never feel like it's clean. So I just use my fingers. And maybe somebody will invent something. Now, the other thing that you could do is just use half a little paper towel. That might work better for you than the little fingers on there do. All right, now you see how they were a little bit brown, so they're really already done. But I want them more brown than this. All right, now we'll put these back in the oven, and we're getting ready to fix our eggs, and I'm going to show you how I fix the eggs also. We're going to use Eggland Best eggs. I'm going to set my little timer for 5 minutes because I don't want my biscuits to burn. 5 minutes. Alright, we're going to be using Eggland Best again, and I'll just go ahead and get them in the carton of 18 extra large. You're going to need a bowl and a whisk and a little bit of water. I'm only going to use just a little bit of this water. Take the eggs and crack them in the bowl. Now, see the eggs have sweated a little bit because it's really better if you can get the eggs more towards room temperature. So I'm going to crack them on a flat surface so I don't get any eggshells in there. And I'm going to make 8 scrambled eggs. Now the way you tell if an egg is fresh, which I know these are, see how runny the white is? It's almost as runny as water. That's what you're looking for. That's how you can tell an egg is fresh. Because the older they get, the thicker the white will get on them. Okay, we've got 8 eggs now. Now, what I'm going to do is pick off some of those little squigglies on there. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I just don't like those little squigglies on there. When you do scrambled eggs, they don't ever turn yellow. They stay white. Now the little squiggly, that's what I call them, is there to hold the egg, or the yolk part of the egg, in the middle of the egg. Because of course it wants to make a chicken or a bitty. So in order to do that, it needs to hold that yolk right in the middle. Now I get the biggest part of them off that I can get, and I just do that with a fork. Now you want to always wash your hands really well after touching anything to do with raw eggs. Alright, now I've got as many off probably, well, there's another one. See that little squiggly there? Okay. Now I've got eight eggs in the bowl. And because I want my eggs really moist, so I'm going to put just a little bit of water, about like that. And I'm going to put just a little bit of salt, not a lot. And I'm just going to beat this. Now, you're going to fry these up in a skillet. And it's going to be one of those skillets that they advertise on TV. I found one in Walmart, and the big sign on the end of the counter said as advertised on TV. And the coating in these pans is supposed to not come off in anything like the other black pans do. And they say that stuff in the black pans, the non-stick black pans, is dangerous to your health. So, you know, just, we don't know for sure what the deal is on that. So, I'm going to show you the black pan. The blue pan. And I know you've seen these advertised on television. Now, this pan cooks great. The only problem with it is when you're cooking on a cooktop, after the first time I used it, see, it doesn't sit level. So maybe the engineers need to go back and figure out what's causing that. But anyway, I can still use it. It just would be better if it would sit level like the stainless steel pans do. All right, I'm going to put, first of all, I'm going to turn my burner on medium to start out with. And I'm going to go wash my hands real quick since I handled the eggs. I'll be right back. I wash my hands a lot because I just think that handling raw eggs can be dangerous if you don't keep everything really clean. Now, the spatula I'm going to use will not scratch my skillet in any way. Now, this spatula, I think it's a Martha Stewart. And you can see how brown the end is. I have used it, I'm going to say 7 or 8 years now. And what makes me think it's Martha Stewart is because of that light green color. You know, she puts everything in that light green color. So anyway, we're going to heat our skillet up pretty high to start with, just to get it warm. And then I'm going to show you how to make scrambled eggs so that they taste really, really good. Now, the way I discovered this is there's my biscuits. I'm going to go get those and show you what they look like. Okay, here are the biscuits, all browned with the butter on top. And you see, you don't see any flour. There's a touch right there. And I'm going to set these to a side and let them cool. Now, they're flatter than I normally make biscuits because I'm making bacon egg biscuits, and I want them kind of flat and big. So I'm going to set these over to the side and let them cool on the pan. Okay, I wanted to get back to the eggs. All right. During a hurricane one time many years ago, our electricity was out for several days, and we were cooking outside on the grill. And I was cooking with a cast iron skillet on top of the grill, and I was fixing eggs because my daughter, her husband were here, and both sons were here. And so I had a big cast iron skillet, and I just cracked a dozen eggs, and it took forever for them to cook. You know, because first of all, the skillet was too far from the heat source. But they were the best eggs I had ever tasted. And so from then on, I just cooked my eggs very, very slow. Now, I had the burner on high just to get the grease hot. And that's just a little bit of canola oil. Now, as soon as I pour the eggs in, it's going to cool that skillet right down, and I'm just going to keep stirring them. Okay, here are my 8 eggs with maybe, I don't know, probably 1/4 of a cup of water. And I'm going to keep stirring them with this spatula. All right. Now this is going to be a long process because I've got the burner on medium low. And see, they're not even sticking to the bottom. And see what I was talking about this pan? I really don't like a pan that wobbles, but I super like the surface on the inside. So the engineers maybe need to figure out how they could put a cast iron bottom, not cast iron, but stainless steel bottom, maybe 10 or 12 gauge on the bottom of this and allow it to sit level. Now if you cook on gas, this will probably be fine. But if you cook on a cooktop like I do, see how it moves around even when you're stirring the eggs. So, now eggs got a bad rap several years ago, and now they're saying that eggs aren't that bad for you. So, when we fix the biscuits, you'll probably have, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 of an egg in each biscuit, and really just about 2/3 of a slice of bacon. Now the first time I fixed bacon and egg biscuits, I fixed, I don't know, about 12 of them. And I promise you, we ate them the first week because they were so convenient and so easy, and several times we even had them for supper. So you want to try to not do like what we did and just, eat one maybe twice a week. And so, all right, I'm going to turn my burner up just a little bit. And I'm going to keep stirring them until they start kind of cooking on the bottom. Right now they're not cooking on the bottom. So you get the idea. Just keep stirring them, and you want to cook them until they're still shiny but firm everywhere. So I'm going to cut the camera off until they get done, and then I'll show you how to assemble the biscuits. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, the eggs are already done. Now I want to show these up close to show you that they're still shiny, and that's what you're looking for. You want them cooked all the way through, but you want to make sure the eggs are still shiny looking. And part of that is because of the water that I put in them. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to assemble these biscuits. I have already cut the biscuits in half. I used a serrated knife and just sliced them through. Now this biscuit is going to be light and airy. This biscuit is what I call gummy. These are the kind my husband likes. See the difference in them? This is a lot thicker. So, anyway, we're going to now put the egg on. And the way we're going to do that is just take a spoon, and you're going to have to use your fingers, so of course make sure your hands are really clean. I'm going to just position the egg on the biscuit. Then I'm going to take the bacon and break it into thirds, because see, it's only going to take really 2 pieces. So this is going to make it very frugal. Then I'm going to wrap the biscuit up in wax paper. And the way I do that is I've already got my 15 pieces of wax paper down here. And I'm just going to wrap them up like that. And after they're frozen, they'll be ready for the microwave. And what we do on our microwave oven is just put 2 biscuits in and put it on defrost for about 5-6 minutes, depending on your microwave. But you don't want to put it on high heat or even reheat, because remember, they're going to be frozen solid. So just put it on defrost, go take your shower, fix your hair, whatever you need to do. By the time you get back, your biscuits will be ready, and they will be very good. Now, to put them in the freezer, I store them in, again, another one of these earthbound salad containers. They work so well. And I just stand them up, and as you can see, I can get probably about 6 biscuits in one container. I just put the lid on it, and they're ready to go right in the freezer. So I'm going to assemble another biscuit and let you watch. Now this is the kind of biscuit I really like. See how brown it is on the bottom? And see how thin? Again, we're probably putting maybe 1/4 of an egg, about 3/4 of an egg on each biscuit. I'm going to again take bacon, take about 1/3 of a piece, and this one might need a little more, so I'll put 3 little pieces on that one. Close it up. Of course, wipe your hands off. and just turn it around. And also you want to make the biscuit lined up the top with the bottom so it sits right. And just take the wax paper, fold it over, and there you have it. I'll do one more. Now this biscuit, I didn't get it quite cut all the way through the serrated knife. Just hold the biscuit very gently and saw it right into. Now that was a hard edge there, so all right, put your egg on, mash it down a little bit, put your little bacon on the top of it, put the lid on it, try to make sure all the egg gets in there, put it in the middle of your wax paper, just fold it up. And again, when you're doing this in the microwave oven to thaw it out, make sure you do it on defrost. Now the biscuit will be a little soft, but that way the egg, everything will be pretty hot when you take it out. And the reason you're using wax paper is because it will come off much easier. If you use saran wrap, it's going to be all stuck and you're going to have to peel it all off and everything. So anyway, there's my biscuits. And so we'll be having, there are 15 biscuits here and 14 of them are normal size and one of them is real little, this one. So I'll probably do this one and eat it myself in a few minutes. But the others I'm going to freeze. So again, you can probably, depending on how you want to stack these, see in this container I'm probably going to be able to get 5. So anyway, that's it for the biscuits. I'm going to just go ahead and keep doing these. Now this whole procedure, if you follow it right through, is going to take about an hour. So in an hour you can have 14 bacon and egg biscuits that you can take out that will be real convenient. And as I told you earlier, I can get coupons and watch when things are on sale, and I figured up all my costs and I can make these biscuits for about 47 cents each. And that would be if the bacon, if I didn't even have a coupon for the bacon. Now you can also do sausage biscuits this way too. So I'm going to break the bacon in half. Now this is very frugal and you're getting a nice little breakfast and one that will probably hold you until lunchtime. And I think the kids love these kind of little biscuits too. Now at Hardee's, which we have a lot of Hardee's in the southeast, a lot of times you can get their biscuits on sale for 2 for $3, and of course they have cheese on them. Now I don't particularly like cheese on my biscuit because I think it takes away from the bacon and egg taste, but nevertheless they put them on sale sometimes 2 for $3. They're a little bit bigger than these biscuits and really gummier, I would say, but they are good. But if you can make them at home, even when their biscuits are on sale, if you make them at home, it's going to be much cheaper. So anyway, there's my bacon and egg biscuit, and I hope you will try this, and I really believe you will enjoy them. First of all, for how good they are, and secondly, because of how frugal they are. All right, see you next time.